Welcome to a most momentous day. Today is the day where we finally triple crown my Candace. DPS Candace, specifically. Well, that's why I'm triple crowning her, at least. It has taken me a long time to farm for this lady. She came out, like a month ago at this point, and only just yesterday did I get enough talent materials for her triple crowning, and I'll talk in the details of why I'm triple crowning a little bit later. Honestly, it's mostly for a YouTube title. But anyways, it took so long to farm up all these talent materials, yada yada, whatever. And today we can finish up getting the materials because we just need a few more of these. And we have enough dream solvents. I just need to fight the boss, and I can guarantee it, even if I don't get these, I can convert them over. I will have enough to triple crown Candace today. And we also will be triple crowning. Sorry, Yunjin. We're not triple crowning you, at least not now. We will be crowning Yunjin's burst as well. Why? Because it'll buff Candace's normal attack damage. That's why. So yes, today is Triple Crown Candace Day. After we're done triple crowning, I'll go over my Candace build, talk about plans for the future, and of course we'll do a showcase. I'll do my dailies, and I'll probably do a little bit of stuffs in the Abyss. Although the Abyss isn't really why I'm doing DPS Candace. DPS Candace can work in the Abyss, but I'll talk about some problems with DPS Candace. She's not like the strongest DPS in the world, as much as I love her. But anyways, this lady deserves everything. Her smug little smile. So let's go do the farmings. Candace is not friendship level 10 yet, unfortunately. That'll have to wait. So we're gonna fight Signora first because we need to be able to crown Yunjin. I don't have to fight Signora to crown Yunjin, but if I get lucky, I won't have to use a dream solving if I get one more of the material Yunjin needs. I hate this boss fight, by the way, but I will probably include some of it in the video at least to show Candace's pre-crowning damage, I suppose. The general rotation with this team, if I had C4 Yunjin, I would definitely use Yunjin before doing Zhongling, or sorry, do Zhongling's burst before. Okay, there we go, we're fine. Let's cool down a little bit here. So generally the rotation with this team, so this is my general overworld team now, is Candace, Zhongling, Yunjin, and Zhongli. And where are the bugs there? The general rotation is, Zhongli shield, obviously, because it's Zhongli. And then, speaking of, let's use a shield because icicles. And then I usually use Yunjin's burst and Zhongling's burst as well, and then Candace burst and do normal attacks, basically. Ideally, I will have C4 Zhongling in the future, and then the rotation would be Zhongli, then Zhongling, and then Yunjin, and then Candace, because Yunjin's burst lasts the same time as Candace's burst, which means no matter what, because of time for rotating and animations, whatever, it's a little bit of the end of Candace's normal attack sequence that doesn't have Yunjin's burst up. But at the end of the sequence, I usually try to do a couple things. One, I just try to do normal attacks, or instead of normal attacks, I weave in some charge attacks, and then I also can switch out, because Candace does damage like in an AoE when you switch out during her burst. So at the end of her burst, like when I lose Yunjin's burst, that's when I switch out. And of course you teleport. Let's do this. Oh, she ran away again. If I get a Vaporize on Candace's last attack, I can hit up to like 38, 40k I've seen before. But it takes some intentionality in how I'm trying to trigger the Vaporizes, and I usually don't bother with that. Just stop 1 second. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can get her down. As long as she doesn't go again, we should be good. Here we go. Cool. So yeah, I can get up to 18k without Vaporize normally. So with this Jade Spear build of Candace right now, I can get about 18k max on depending on the enemy and whatever resistance is, yada yada. Let's see what we get from this. So, and that's how I get those about, oh, come on, game, you troll. Well, give me a Dream Solvent. You know what, that's fine. I'll take that, I guess. I wanted the Ashen Heart, so not getting the Ashen Heart means I have to use a Dream Solvent, but they gave me a Dream Solvent, so I guess that's fine. That's poopy. That's also whatever. Alright, cool. On to Raiden Shogun. And I'm not using Candace in this Shogun fight because you really want Electro, obviously. So I might show a little bit of my Cyno, I suppose. But my Cyno still needs a bit of work. So, and then I use Rosaria to try to get through the shield quicker instead of Candace. So, much as I love Candace, she isn't perfect for every situation, believe it or not. Oh, it's jump rope time. Watch my professional jump rope skills. Hop. 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 Hop, another hard one. Got it.
Your sins weigh upon your soul. Your penance is due.
Alright, let's see. I don't think we're gonna be able to kill her here. We might be able to kill her before she gets back up, though. Back to her, whatever you call her armor base. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rip. Rip. Die. No, still not dead. Come on, die. Kill her in the face. I want to kill her in the face. I've only done that like once before. No, die. Die. Yes! I suck it. You died in your mega phase. Haha. Okay. Well, Cyno's dead, but it's fine. Rewards. Give me things so I don't need to... okay. Well, I guess we get to use all the Dream Solvents in the world, crappy, and... I hate artifacts like these. Like, if it rolls a crit line, it has 4 good stats, but it's... yeah. So, yay, we get to use all our Dream Solvents, yay. Oh boy, whatever. Alright, so Yunjin, if I recall, needs an Ashen Heart. Yep, okay, so we just need 1 Ashen Heart to be able to crown Yunjin. And then Candace, I believe, needs whatever these are called, Tears of the Calamitous God. 4 of them is how many I need. Wonderful. Alright. Let's see. Right now is probably as good a time as ever to talk about how this is not the best use of resources in the account. There are other, like, it's smarter for me to say level 9 some other talents. Heck, I don't even think I've gotten Zhao's Burst to level 8 yet. I should definitely work on things like that before doing something like triple crowning. Triple crowning takes so many resources for the additional improvement, it's just not worth it. The reason I'm doing this is because, one, I really, really like Candace, and I want to get the very max potential I can out of her. That's the biggest reason, honestly. And the second reason is it also makes a good YouTube title, the Triple Crown. If I wasn't doing this for a YouTube video, I honestly wouldn't be triple crowning. I wouldn't crown Candace's Burst. It's not that valuable to crown. But I can't release a YouTube video that says I double crown Candace, can I? So triple crown it is. And goodbye to all of our Dream Solvents. And apparently we have 0 of these. This game only gives me hands. Alright, whatever. We're making 4. Bye-bye, Dream Solvents. We still have 3 left. It's fine. So, it's time to get crowning. First, Yunjin. I'm going to do Yunjin first. Reason being because, honestly, she's the only, like, damage buffing support in this account. And she's the main, like, she's a Bennett equivalent for my polearm only account. So, honestly, she probably deserves the first crown. So despite my love for Candace, the first crown on the account goes to Yunjin. Whoops. Goodbye, all of my more. If I did my math correctly, I still have, it's going to be, 2.8 million more. So I'm going to have less than 1 million more left at the end of this, but it's fine. Because we'll deal slightly more damage. Confirm. Bam. Level 10. Sweet. Now, time for you, Candace. So, first of all, let's just do the simple ones first. Her burst, like I said, not very valuable. Like, wow, 0.8% more HP damage is really, really not worth. But we're doing it anyways, because how can I call myself a true Candace main if I don't triple crown? There we go. Also, we have C6 Candace, if you didn't see my wishing video. Back to talents. Alright. Skill, I do actually want to crown this, because you know what, it's only, again, for the percentage damage increase. It's not much, but you know what, I don't care. Bam. There you go, max level. 40%. And here we go, normal attacks. So this is probably the most noticeable, like, as far as the amount of numbers we see. We'll see a meaningful increase in her charge attack and her fourth hit, whatever, yada yada. I think this will also put her pretty consistently over 10k on her 3 hits even. So yeah, let's do it. There we go. Triple crowned. You deserve it, Candace. There you go. I have no money. That's fine though, because there's presumably, well, we know there's no Hu Tao or anything coming, so we have at least the next update worth of time to get our money back. So it's fine. There we go. Candace is now completely leveled up. The only thing I have left to improve on Candace, honestly, is, well, artifacts. But I'm going to go over artifacts in just a second here. Then I'll showcase her damage, I suppose, and we'll see how she does. I'll talk about the nuances of how Candace works as a DPS, because I've seen many people that say, her burst, is made to do, like, off-field damage when you switch characters, so you can't use her as a DPS. Like, what are you talking about? She infuses her own normal attacks with Hydro. And it doesn't, like, you don't have circle impact either, where you have to stay within a circle for the infusion. So, like, it works perfectly. She works perfectly fine as a DPS. Her multipliers for her normal attacks are pretty high. Like, it means she's a normal attack scaling DPS for her normal attacks. It's awkward that her attacks are, her skill is HP scaling, and her normal attacks are attack scaling, but whoop-de-doo. You'll see she works perfectly fine as an overall DPS. For how many people I've seen that just, like, don't care about the Spiral Abyss, the fact that I see so many people saying, oh, Candace doesn't work as a DPS, when they also don't care about Spiral Abyss, is really weird to me. I do care about Spiral Abyss, but I am more interested in maxing out Candace, because I enjoy how she plays. The biggest problem she has with Abyss, by the way, is just her normal attack speed. But her normal attack speed is also part of what allows her to forward vape so easily, so because she doesn't apply an overabundance of Hydro. So Zhongling applies enough Zhongling on her own. Normally, if you're going to do a forward vape where, like, the Hydro character is the one triggering the Vaporize, you're going to need an abundance of Pyro application, say like Bennett and Zhongling together. Being that this is a Polearm only account, I only have Zhongling, and I have Toma, I guess. So I could do double Pyro, but Zhongling does enough Pyro application to be able to consistently Vaporize every third hit on Candace's normal attacks. But anywho, there's a little bit of lag there, that's weird. Anywho, let's, I'm going to go over Candace's build quick. So right now, Candace is using the Jade Spear. In the future, I will switch this to Staff of Homa. And because I'm using Jade Spear, I am using an attack percent timepiece on her for now. With Staff of Homa, maximum normal attack damage would obviously still be an attack percent timepiece, but I think I'm going to switch to an HP percent timepiece because, particularly for the overworld, I like using her skill to just nuke an enemy, right? And from the damage calculation I did when I have Staff of Homa, I'll be able to do around 70,000 to 80,000, I believe, on a Vaporize to enemies. So I would much rather have a HP percent timepiece just to buff this skill further for overworld use at the very least. Plus Staff of Homa kind of, not completely, but kind of fixes Candace's split scaling problem. So, because it converts her HP into additional attack, right? So, anywho, I'll go over the individual artifacts quick. So, stat-wise though, with Jade Spear giving 22% crit rate, 2-piece Heart of Depth, 2-piece Shimenawa, which makes a lot of sense with the Jade Spear right now. This will make less sense with Homa. Ideally, in the future, I would switch to 4-piece Heart of Depth, but that's much easier said than done getting 4-piece sets can be a nightmare, and especially with the quality of the artifacts I have on Candace right now, that will be very hard to do. Anywho, so attack percent build Candace, 92 crit rate, 157 crit damage, 130.4 recharge, 1,951 attacks. So overall, very well balanced. She's not like anything crazy as far as her artifacts go, I don't think. Actually, no, this is actually really good. Okay, never mind. She is kind of cracked. This is I think this is a 1.7 build, which 1.7. So the calculation I'm doing here is you take this, multiply it with your crit damage. So it'd be 0.653 times 1.072. I believe this comes out to like 1.7 plus, and then add 1 to it, and that's you're evaluating the crit value specifically of your artifacts, not the other stats, just the crit value. So I'm right at 1.7 crit value, and I also have additional ER and additional attack percent rolls going on here. So yeah, my Candace is, I would say my Candace, you'll see the individual artifacts. My Candace, particularly when she gets Staff of Homa, but as far as her current artifact quality goes, is probably the best, if not like tied for the best DPS Candace on the server, potentially, I would say, which might be me being overconfident, but you'll see the artifacts in a second. So none of them are particularly wow other than the goblet, but this flower, right, it's 30 crit value, or technically, no, yes, it is 30 crit value, extra attack percent roll, extra ER roll. Like, would I prefer this attack percent roll being a crit damage, crit rate? Maybe, sure, but like, it's not bad having it into attack percent. The important thing is that it's not a dead stat, right? Particularly with the Jade Spear right now, not dead at all. Could I replace it in the future? Potentially, but it's definitely not a priority, being that it has no dead stats, regardless of what weapon I use. So this is a very good artifact. And the feather. So this is only has 1 dead roll, has 1 flat defense roll. This was crit damage. It would be a very, very cracked piece. Obviously, this is buffing up her crit rate quite a lot, which is helpful, and particularly will be when getting Staff of Homa. And this artifact alone is part of why getting 4-piece Heart Adept might be a little bit of a nightmare, but that's a long-term me problem. 4-piece Heart Adept is, for reference, 4-piece Heart Adept is after using elemental skill, increases normal attack and charge attack damage by 30% for 15 seconds. That's definitely obviously good with DPS Candace playstyle, and is her best in slot, but it's annoying to get that. So that's 6 months plus down the line, honestly. I have other artifacts I need for other characters much before I'm going to focus on min-maxing an extra 10% damage out of Candace. So yeah, 1 dead stat here. Timepiece, we have on the attack percent timepiece, almost 35 crit value, or sorry, almost, I think this is 38 crit value, sorry, so almost 40 crit value. 2 dead rolls. I mean, this is like useful slightly, you know, it's not as good as an HP percent. It's like half of an HP percent roll, so you could argue that's useful, but obviously at least 2 dead rolls here, so 3 dead rolls total if you count this as a full dead roll. Circlet, we're going to Goblet last for reasons. Circlet has no dead rolls, attack percent, crit damage, ER. Would have preferred, yeah, HP into crit damage or something, right? But whatever, again, you're nitpicking there. It has no dead rolls, that is what is important. And the Goblet is, yeah, I mean, yeah, this might be the best Goblet you ever see in this game. So not only is it 52 crit value, which is absurd, it all went into crit damage, and it even has an extra HP percent line for Hydro. So, and it functions as an onset Goblet right now, so I could move to a, this is, the reason this is still onset is because I don't have anything better. That's kind of it. Oh yes, and then the HP percent timepiece has no dead stats, so this is probably what I'll use when I have Staff of Homa, just because it gives me even a little bit more ER and a little bit additional crit rate, so I'm sacrificing some crit damage. And obviously this will lower Candace's normal attack damage a meaningful amount, so if I'm going for like the biggest normal attack damage, I would keep an attack percent timepiece, but this piece is probably what I'll use most of the time. But yeah, that's my Candace build. So my Candace is 4 dead rolls, which is insane. It is very not easy to get that few dead rolls on your artifacts for any character. So The only part of the reason I do have no dead rolls though is of course because she's split scaling. Like she does get value out of both attack percent and HP percent. If she was only HP scaling, this attack percent would be a dead roll, right? And this attack percent would be dead rolls. But because she's split scaling, technically she benefits from both. But you know what? It's fine. I'm gonna twist my words all I want. I say because she scales on both, they're not dead rolls. Just saying. It's a benefit of split scaling, weirdly enough. So yeah, that's my artifacts. My Candace is kind of cracked artifacts wise. When I get Staff of Homa, this stats will be about 70%, a little over 70%, and then 200% crit damage ish. Let's get on to actually what anyone cares about. Let's see how much damages Candace gets. I'm going to do this domain quick. The reason I'm doing this domain is not because I want to actually farm or anything. It's simply because I have done this domain a few times, so I am used to the damage numbers I see from it.
Solidify.
Second for this dude. Alright, drop the burst. Do this.
We shall prevail. Do your worst.
8,000 there. That was normally I wasn't hitting 20,000. I think with a vaporize. There we go. Well, there's DPS Candace for you, and here's what I'm talking about, by the way, with the end sequence. Oh, well, I didn't do it properly, but you know, you get the point. Bam, there we go. 44k on the attack there. The attack percent timepiece seems pretty good, and I got my burst back. See, like this team with Candace, it works pretty well. So, yeah, Candace can be DPS. Will your DPS Candace be as good as mine if you do what I do? Probably not, because you probably will never have the goblet that I have realistically. But you can still approach it, right? Like, you can sacrifice 20 crit damage from my Candace and 10 crit rate. And she's not going to get crazily lower numbers. The reason she gets the numbers she does here is because she's like using Yunjin, she's using Zhongli's Shred. I'm on a polearm only account, so I'm restricted by the supports I can use. I don't have any like Animo grouper I can use to help out Candace. Yeah, Candace can certainly work as a DPS. It's just you don't always want to go the route of throwing the most powerful supports in the game with certain characters. Otherwise, they're just going to overshadow your DPS anyways, your DPS character. Anyhow, let's go to the Abyss, because the Abyss is the only recurring, you know, actual difficult combat in this game. So, anywho, I haven't actually tried Candace on floor 12 before, so we're gonna try it, and we'll do it like this. So that's fine. It's an opportunity to play better on this side.
This is order. Stabilize.
Your grand finale.
Please, hear my prayer.
Oh, don't climb the freaking... Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Do your worst. Solidify. Order guide you.
Flags up. And leap.
He's dead. Good problem to have. He's dead too. Alright, good. This is much better rotation-wise.
Stabilize.
Alright, let's let things run towards me. There we go.
Break a leg. Observe. Eat this. At the front.
We shall prevail.
Build a riffraff because they're annoying.
Pin them down.
Oh, I missed. Whoops.
Solidify.
Get Favonius, please. There we go. Drop this. Oh, he jumped away. Oh well.
Flags fly.
Still frozen. So I'm a gamer.
Nice and spicy.
You're exposed.
So honestly, under this team, I think I could use... Oh, really? I didn't get burst up. Oh, shit. That's not ideal. I could use a little bit more ER on Yunjin, Zhongling,
Break a leg.
and Candace, of course, but...
You. Grant us your blessing.
Whoops, didn't mean to do a Zhongling.
This is order. Solidify.
Flags up and step.
Too easy.
Oh, really? Goba?
Your grand finale.
Really wish Goba would target the right thing sometimes.
Hear my prayer.
And leap.
Flee.
There we go. Alright. That was a little bit clunky still. Mostly my fault. Partially the fault of the circumstance of the enemies zooming around, right? And that's not the ideal team to deal with those enemies, but I still think it did pretty well. And I did better that time than I did in my initial attempt. Alright, there we go. Not exactly ideal, and oh, I didn't even 2-star. I honestly thought I would 2-star there, but considering I didn't even 2-star my other attempt when I wasn't doing DPS Candace, that at least shows that this is essentially equivalent at minimum to DPS, to 2 hyper carries. I was doing Zhao hyper carry with Zhongli on one side, and then Cyno with basically the same team except for it didn't have Zhao on the other side. See how this goes.
I will have order.
We're here to talk about Candace, not Cyno. Cyno's fun, very fun. But Candace is who we're here for today.
Nice and spicy.
So I have no energy, that's good.
You're exposed.
Very ideal.
This is order.
And leap. Strike is one. You're toast.
There we go, finally can get the things going.
We shall prevail.
Tell you having Zhao dealing with this is probably much better than Candace. Again, single target focus versus someone who can do AoE damage. Surprise.
Order guide you.
Flags up. And leap.
So we're not going to get that up, that's fine.
Hear my prayer. Flee.
Oh, that dude absorbed Hydra, so he's got Hydra resistance, that's annoying. I really don't like these enemies that absorb elements.
Rise. This is order.
The reason I don't like them is because it's basically like, oh, hopefully you kill them before they absorb things, so it's just like even more of a DPS check than they already are because of their health or something. It's just, I don't know, I don't think it's good design personally.
I will have order.
You can like try to get them to absorb other elements in particular, right, to avoid this problem. So I'm not saying you can't play around it. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just a little bit annoying.
Too easy. This is order. Gather.
Flags up. And step. Nice and spicy. Eat this.
I don't want to have to use Candace's burst again.
Down. I will have order.
See if we can get through it with just Zhongling and Zhongli.
Stabilize.
And leap. Boba, get them.
You.
There we go. Okay. A little clunky there. Again, I don't think Candace is the ideal Abyss team, but it's working well enough. Oh, good. Maguka. I hate this. I might not do any more Abyss just because I hate this boss. I don't feel like fighting Magukenki again because he's a butthole. So, anyways, there you go. That's DPS Candace. I don't know what else to show for her. She works well. I can do my dailies, I guess. While we end off the video here. Yeah, DPS Candace works perfectly well for the overworld, as like really any character can for the overworld. She also works well though for honestly any content in this game that's not just the hyper difficult content in Abyss. Not that Abyss is always hyper difficult, but it is quite difficult when you have only polearm characters. And for being a polearm only account, I feel like Candace actually works quite well on my account. And yes, my artifacts I have on her help quite a lot. But I also don't think she's as bad as a DPS as everyone makes her out to be. She can be quite strong. So, yeah, I don't know. Not saying you should necessarily spend the resources on her. Not saying she's the wisest spending of resources or anything. But she's fun. I know like people don't like her slow attack speed, but I feel like she has her slow attack speed is also quite satisfying, right? So it's do. Or yeah, she had a nice shield bash, a nice like overhand like thrust with the spear. It feels like she attacks like an actual spear user would to me, rather than just being like a Zhao who manages to like whip around a spear at this speed of inhuman stupidity or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, I enjoy Candace. I like her design. I greatly enjoy her kit with her skill, her burst and fuses. You know what? So yeah, whoops, get out of my way. Do I recommend DPS Candace? I mean, only if you want to. I enjoy doing things more non-conventionally in Genshin Impact, and one of the things I enjoy about this game the most is that you can do things like that, despite the fact that they designed this character to, well, presumably they designed this character to not be a main DPS. She works very well doing that. Oh good, we get to go talk to Haley Drills. And the fact that I can do that at all, that is allowed within the flexibility of the game's design with putting different weapons and different artifacts on a character, is something I think is really cool. And I just think it's important for people to remember you don't need all the greatest characters available, and you don't need the strong base DPS character that's made to be an overpowered DPS like your Hu Tao's and whatever. Let's try this again with enemies that don't have freaking shields.
Grant us your blessing.
11,000, 12,600 charge attack, 13,000. That's buffs from buffs from Jade Spear. So you know what? See, even without Yun Jin, she can do pretty good damage. All right. So, what's the conclusion? Well, the conclusion is that I like Candace. Okay, and I do what I want with my account. Now, is crowning Candace letting me 36 Star Abyss? No. Is any character going to specifically let me 36 Star Abyss? Other than Hu Tao, probably not. So, in conclusion, I like Candace. Yeah. And she works pretty well. She's not as bad as most people make her out to be. Thanks for watching, I suppose. Feel free to like and subscribe if that's what you want to do, but I'm not going to force you yet. And, I don't know. More importantly, I guess if you haven't seen my other stuffs, check out my other Polearms Only videos or my live streams. I live stream on weekends, so that's where I do all the boring weekly Genshin and daily thingies and events and all that. The stuff that's not really worth making into a full video kind of thing. But this deserves a full video, of course, because it's Candace. Because she deserves everything. I am now poor, but I have a DPS Candace. Triple crown. No one can say I'm not a Candace main. Bye-bye.